Guys, please listen to this.
It's not consolation, but it felt like what you were trying to do was closer to what you wanted, that what PSG were trying to do, that you annihilated in certain ways.
What we've done this season, we've achieved something incredible, and we were so close to doing it even better today. At the moment disappointed, but still we got to see the bigger picture and remember all the good stuff as well.
I guess, Thierry, listen, yes, Arsenal fall short in the Champions League, but they won the Premier League. And that was job number one for Arsenal this season, it felt like. Does this team still go down in history?
It's baffling how the British media and the English sporting public are trying so hard to convince themselves that Arsenal were good yesterday in the Champions League final against PSG. It's mind-blowing the mentality these guys have. So this is the best England has to produce, which is Arsenal, going up against the best France has to produce in PSG. And these are the stats. These are the match stats which English football has to be proud of. 24% ball possession from the best team in England this season against a team from France. And yet you guys tell me English football is the best football. I really want to understand what's your ideology based on. Arsenal came into this game with a very negative mindset, and trust me, if the Gunners had won, it would have been the biggest robbery, the biggest football robbery I've seen in the last decade. There's something fundamental. You can win the Premier League by defending, but you can't win the Champions League simply by defending. You can't win the Champions League like that. Arsenal came into a game knowing they are England's best, trying to be defensive against PSG. It's true, for long parts of the game, they held it together. But how were they hoping to score or dominate Paris or win the Champions League? You need goals. It's true, it came down to penalties, and whenever it goes to penalties, it could go either way. But Arsenal's mindset was extremely negative, and it was not a good model or representation of the Premier League. No matter how much these guys from Sky Sports, TNT Sports, or whatever British media tried to put out, English football was dominated yesterday by the best team in France. And that's not something which die-hard or hardcore Premier League fans will be proud of. And mind you, PSG, on their way to winning this particular Champions League, have gone through Liverpool, Chelsea, and now Arsenal, three of the biggest names in the Premier League. And not just this season, even last year. So in the past 2 seasons, PSG, on their way to winning these Champions League titles, have dominated the top teams from the Premier League. How do we explain that? How? This season alone, they've beaten the last 2 champions of the Premier League. Liverpool won the Premier League last season. PSG beat them this year. PSG have also beaten Arsenal. So there's something fundamentally wrong. If the Premier League has to win the Champions League again in the next few seasons, something has to change. The approach must change. Apart from Manchester City, there's no Premier League team at the moment that can go toe-to-toe with the top teams in Europe. There's none. And of course, because they want to make Arsenal feel good about themselves and stuff like that, they would say, oh, the Gunners did well. The Gunners didn't do well. The Gunners came into a game trying to defend, and they were dominated. Luckily for them, PSG didn't really turn up the way people expected. That's just the truth. British football suffered yesterday. The Premier League suffered yesterday in the hands of a team from a league that you guys often call a farmers league. And it's not the first time. PSG in the past 2 seasons have dominated all the top British teams. All of it. So there is a problem. There is a fundamental problem which the Premier League needs to fix. Thank you.